Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. This project is a little egg beater drill. Now it's a tiny little guy, but it's solid. It's probably as heavy as 3 or 4 pounds. Got a cast iron frame, nice solid gears, and this one comes with 2 pinion gears. That means it's got a much better chance of tracking straight. If you buy one of the little cheap ones, usually they're made out of zinc, die-cast little things, and they'll have 1 pinion gear and they rack. The main gear racks and then it binds up and it doesn't turn. This one turns quite well. Got a couple of issues. This handle, somebody riveted it solid. It's not supposed to be solid. It's supposed to be able to move. It's supposed to spin. But this one doesn't do it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to loosen it up enough to make it spin without damaging it. So we'll just have to see. First thing I'm going to do is clean it up a bit. There's a screw that holds the gear onto the frame. There's a screw that holds the gear onto the axle. But I want to loosen this handle screw up first. It's a lot easier to do that when it's captured inside the gear. Now I can loosen up that screw there. And the gear comes off. Now these little gears will come off, but they're held on there with pins. That tiny little pin is driven in and riveted over. And quite often it's a tapered pin. So if you go in there and try and take that pin out, it's really hard to do, and usually you damage the pin to the point where it's very difficult to get back in. And trying to find a pin with the exact same taper, that's a job and a half. So I'm just going to clean this up. I'm not going to take that pin out. This gear back here, that's just held in place by the shaft. And that shaft is driven in there. It's not going to come out easily. Really doesn't need to. It just really needs to be cleaned up so that I don't have a problem with it. Now, I'm not going to do a full restoration on this drill because really all I want to do is clean it up so that it's good working condition. So I'll just pull the chuck off. That just threads off of that spindle. It's a long, fine thread. Now I can wash these parts up. My main purpose in washing the parts is to get the dirt out of the joints and the connections and all the spindles and any bearing surface. Because dirt, when you mix it with oil, becomes grinding compound and it just wears everything out. Now, dirt's a natural thing, it's going to be everywhere. Doesn't mean you have to put up with it. And that wash tank would sure come in handy right now. This chuck should probably be taken apart. It doesn't look too bad, but they always can use a good cleaning. I need to make a pin spanner to fit the bottom of the chuck. But I don't want to do that right now. I'm in the process of cleaning and checking out this drill, and I want to just carry on until I get that part finished. I'll come back and make a spanner wrench to take this chuck apart. Cleaning up the threads made a big difference in how it operates. Put the screw back in the crank spindle. Tighten it down. Everything spins freely, that's good. Somebody's wire brushed off this handle. I think they were looking for the name. It looks like Gramel. Graine. Grant. Grant. Granit Tool Company, New York, Germany. Near as I can tell, that's what it Grant Tool Company. Grant Tool Company, New York and Germany. Near as I can tell, that's what it says. Slide the handle back into place. Managed to pick up a tiny sliver in my finger. See if I can scrape it free. Okay, that appears to be gone. Screws tight. The ferrule on the handle is a little rusty. Clean up that thread. Spin the handle back into the body. And there, we're all clean. Give it a little bit of oil. But it's a happier little drill now. A little quieter. Oil always helps. And you want to make sure and get the dirt out of there before you put the oil in. Otherwise you're just compounding the problem. Now I wonder if I can make a spanner for that chuck. But that's a project for another day. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.